I'm happy that the Uvalde police are being charged for their lack of action during the Robb Elementary School shooting. If you're going to be a cop, you should be a person willing to put their life on the line to protect kids from a school shooter, not just stand around making jokes and acting like nothing is happening. Uh, these cops are truly sick individuals, uh, doing nothing during a time when a school shooting was happening. They knew that the doors were not locked and that they could go in and do something, yet they chose not to, and then tried to cover it up with a bunch of lies. This is just truly sick behavior, especially when these people were given the authority and the power to protect the citizens in their area, and they just did nothing. Um, all the people there, not just the local police, but the like FBI and the all the 'cause there's like 300 to 400 police that went there and did nothing. All those police, all those agents should be charged with the dereliction of duty because they did nothing while kids were being killed. Every single one of them should be punished.
But first, our top story at noon. The latest on the indictments issued in the Robb Elementary School shooting. Just yesterday, the former Uvalde CISD chief and another officer were indicted by a grand jury. The former chief turned himself in on 10 charges, and we're getting a first look at that indictment that's been unsealed. KENS 5's Zach Briggs is in Uvalde right now with the details on that indictment. Zach?
Well, this is the 30-page indictment against Pete Arredondo. The document details accusations of failure to protect the kids at Robb Elementary 2 years ago. The indictment does name several survivors from the tragedy, including Chloe Torres. She's the girl who called 911 while trapped inside the school. The indictment states a lot of what we've already known from multiple reports, such as the DOJ review from earlier this year. According to documents, Arredondo failed to identify the incident as an active shooter situation, directing officers to delay breaching the room occupied by the gunman until classrooms were evacuated. The indictment says Arredondo failed to follow protocols for establishing a command center and an immediate action plan to take down the gunman. Court documents also say Arredondo failed to transport the survivors to a designated emergency infant care provider under a certain section of Texas law related to family code. Here's state.
It is wild how much taxpayers pay to have cops trained only for them to showcase how little they actually have been trained in the law of the state or the nation. It is truly wild. Like, how are these people not adequately trained in what they should be? This just shows a failure on the cops' part and why there actually does need to be a reformation of police policies and laws and stuff because these cops aren't actually doing what they should be doing.
Senator Roland Gutierrez from this morning on the indictment of Arredondo and former Uvalde CISD officer Adrian Gonzalez. Take a listen.
Bittersweet for sure. I mean, I think that everyone will tell you it's not enough. There's no doubting their culpability here. But so were many officers with the Department of Public Safety. The guys that should have gotten the job done refused to do it.
Yeah, the people that are being paid and supposedly trained to protect society, the cops refused to do their duties of protecting society. And it is saying how these people thought they could get away with dereliction of duties. No, if you're going to be a cop, this is something you have to do. You can't just say no to stopping a mass shooter. You have to, because that is your job. And if you decide not to, while being a cop, yeah, it is good that you're being charged and hopefully convicted for not doing what you're supposed to do. And I hope every single cop that showed up here and did nothing gets put in prison because that is what they deserve.
Who tell me they have a meeting set with the district attorney around 1:30 this afternoon. We'll bring you the latest today on what that meeting entailed, most likely about the indictment, still unknown, a little bit about Adrian Gonzalez's